Hey everybody, and welcome to this episode of Crashbox. I am, your still host, Crash. And we're starting off the episode actually a little bit differently. See, let me explain. So, normally, there'd be a visual gag and there'll be an introduction about the episode and what's kind of going on. But long story short, this is kind of an interesting thing because we're starting off with an unboxing. So, I know, in the literal sense. But let me explain the backstory behind it. See, I have had a developing relationship recently with Charleys Cheesesteaks. For those who didn't see the cold opening gag, great place to get a cheesesteak, great place to get really good freshly made lemonade. They have amazing loaded fries and just regular crispy fries that are really tasty. If you ever want a really good bite to eat for a lunch or a quick dinner, Charleys Cheesesteaks is worth it. They were around when I was in Arizona. They've been around when I was in Texas. And they're even out here in Oklahoma, which is nice. But here's where the story gets interesting. See, Charleys Cheesesteaks was recently teamed up with Warner Brothers and Back 4 Blood. Back 4 Blood is a fantastic game that I got to play quite a bit of when it was doing like its open beta thing, and I instantly got hooked on it. I even did a couple streams with Back 4 Blood, gave away some beta keys, had some Twitch drops. It was a fun time for all. And then I was sad when the beta ended because I was just like, man, I actually really liked this because it was made by a bunch of the same people who made Left 4 Dead. Warner Brothers was footing the bill, letting them have creative control, and it's just a fun zombie game, and it's basically Left 4 Dead, but for consoles, and it's so much fun. So, what wound up happening is Charleys Cheesesteaks, to promote the release of the game, were giving away codes for copies of Back 4 Blood. And not only that, they were doing partnership stuff with Warner Brothers and Back 4 Blood. And you know me, I like to enter these types of things. And so I wound up on Twitter not only winning an actual code from them, and I'll even provide the, screenshot, but in addition to that, I also wound up developing a really fun relationship with Charleys Cheesesteaks on Twitter. To the point where now, not only will you be seeing later today a special Let's Play of me and my friends going through Back 4 Blood, courtesy of Charleys Cheesesteaks, of course. They were nice enough to not only provide me for a code when I won the giveaway on Twitter, but they were nice enough to even provide me with 2 extra codes for the game for me to give to some of my streaming friends. And what you'll see later in the episode is clips and highlights from the hilarity. So, but in addition to that, they actually sent me a social media kit. So, with Cap. Long story short, they had another giveaway on Twitter, and they basically were just like, hey, yo, fam, who wants a hat? And I'm like, I'll take a hat. It'd be fun to wear on stream. And they're like, yes, give us your address. We are going to send you stuff. So they actually wound up, instead of sending me just the hat, they sent me a social media kind of like press kit type thing. So we're actually going to unbox that right now. So thank you, Charleys Cheesesteaks. Now, as you can kind of see, I did have to kind of pre-open it a little bit just to make sure nothing was damaged. But I don't know what the contents are. So I only just got up to like here just to film like, the intro gag. So with that in mind, let's do this. Ooh, how nice. They threw some wrapping paper in here. Quite nice. I like the wrapping paper. Okay, so we definitely got the hat. So that is the hat that they promised. And it's one of those nice, ventilation snapback hats that I'm seeing. So that is really cool. They sent me some sticky note pads. Like a whole block of them. Like just a whole ass block. So that's actually really cool because I could always use this when I'm editing and creating and, you know, crafting. They sent me a nice little stylus pen, which I actually really like. Because, you know, I have a touchscreen on a lot of my stuff, so it's nice to have a new one of these, and it's got a little Charleys Cheesesteaks on it. And then finally, this is the thing that's kind of interesting. I think they sent me, like, a journal that I can also color in. I'm gonna have to do this, I'm sorry, because it's kind of, like, wedged in there. There we go. Let me get it out. There you go. Boop. So yeah, it's a little like journal basically that I could color like the front and back. I love the art. The art's really cool and trippy. But it's good to take notes, basically. So it's quite nice. And interestingly enough, if you're going to be surviving the zombie apocalypse at all, you might as well get some pointers. So later in the video, or episode rather, we're also going to have some tips on how you can survive in the zombie apocalypse. Not just from me, but kind of a small guide from some friends and other streamers and content creators too. So, but thank you guys so much at Charleys Cheesesteaks for the social media kit, for the cool loot. I've definitely got some fun ideas for some sketches and ideas using all this, as you'll probably see later in this episode. But, yeah, a literal unboxing for once on Crashbox. So, how ironic. Alright, that's about it, guys. Huge shout out to Charleys Cheesesteaks, Warner Brothers, and the team behind Back 4 Blood for making all this possible between the game codes, the social media kit stuff from Charleys Cheesesteaks, as well as Warner Brothers and all the team behind Back 4 Blood for making the game. It's hella fun. And, well, I'll see you guys later. Bye!